we're changing up the formula a bit. Last time I tried to do the kind of this video during our recording, but I kind of felt like I was always pushing ahead, and you're very good at derailing. So in the video, I sound so mean because every time you say something, I just skipping anything you say and just going on with what I'm trying to say. So this time I'm gonna try to like chill out and just listen instead,
Now,
instead of pushing it
honestly,
forward.
from one side, I think it's good because there's some kind of structure.
Yeah, but I don't want to sound like I'm not listening to anything you say. But you are also
And
very
from
good
the
at
other side,
derailing any
I
conversation.
really, really am kind of distracting myself in my own voice. It's very weird.
So, it's a big update. My biggest so far, I guess. So the update kind of started with this failed project, which is the character creator. I was feeling that there was way too little mounts options. There was just the knights and nothing else, and that felt a little sparse. And I was gonna add a few more animal troops, but then I felt like, why not use the voxels to their strength? Because voxels are good because they're easy to combine, like I'm doing with the armor and the weapons and such. So why not generate the animals instead of hard coding them, basically? So I made this system like a last minute update before the release.
Like, was it were animals you first thought of? Did you like think maybe add different types of humans or knights?
Well, it started with I was gonna add a few another knight type, basically, and then I was like, I better just redo the system, and then I started with the humans, because if I'm gonna do everything like
Yeah, but it would feel like the same thing, but it would just have like a different texture. Yeah, I understand what you're getting.
yeah,
And animals
so
feel like a very cool new layer.
yeah, exactly. So I'm now generating each model instead of just before the release. Every model was handcrafted. Now they're generated out of different heads and helmets and arms and legs and so on. The character creator was going to be way deeper, but I found when I was researching interest that nobody cared about the character creator whatsoever. So I kind of bailed on it. So it's kind of half made, but it's great for debugging when I have a bad frame somewhere or something, or an armor that doesn't work. You can just check it out here. So at least I have that. Hopefully one day I will have animal options too. I was gonna add a lot of animal types as like instead of horses you can have unicorns and such stuff.
Is there no interest because the interface is difficult, or is it no interest because people don't know it exists?
I have no because I made videos and they
Or
were
is it like
like,
a completely different reason? It
yeah,
might be that I'm thinking in the wrong direction with this.
I have no idea. I made some videos and they were kind of the worst performing videos I have ever made, and I couldn't get anyone to try it out, and there was like zero interest. It could be that the figures, they are so small on the screen, so it doesn't really matter how they look. I don't know.
Did you have like a little poll, or maybe like uh for that thingy where you said, did you know, and then add the voxel editor exists, and then have like a few options. I know it exists, but I don't use it. I didn't know it exists, but now that I do, I'm still not gonna use it. Or um, now that I know it exists, I'm gonna give it a try at least.
Yeah, it's no point in forcing it. There's so much I can put other work into. So if it doesn't work, I just leave it. There's other stuff I can work on. I mean, the animals has been
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
The animals has been the opposite. People love them. They want to try them and so on. So so it ended up to be good in the like in the end anyway. So that's good. I don't know if you have tried all the animals, but we can.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't mean that you had to focus on the guy voxel. It was more like the curiosity of, did you try to like pinpoint what the reason might have been?
I mean, that is so weird sometimes. It's like that magic lightning in a bottle thing. Uh, it's like when sometimes I see people prototype and they put some pixels on the screen and they get like thousands of wish lists, and you're like, how the hell? But sometimes the magic is there and sometimes not. It's really hard to know.
Yeah.
I was working on this early in the week where you normally, let's see, you take a horse and you take a wagon, and then you get like a wagon horse, and if you go to siege weapons, then they should turn into a siege machine wagon horse like this. But if you use an elephant and take a wagon, then you should get a balcon instead. So they end up right here. And the gimmick for this update is the cannon fans, which is the highest grade of elephants.
I really like how the the one with the wagon and the horses looks like it's made for like running away from something while the thing is shooting backward.
It's a traditional way of running cannons with horses. They are supposed to unload the cannons and then start firing, but I didn't get that far.
Yeah, but that's up for transportation, right? That they deploy it.
Yeah, but when they come to the battle, they start firing forward, I think. Let's see. And they're not supposed to do that, but I ran out of time, so that's something I have to do later. Yeah, you see they basically fire from the wagon, which you shouldn't. They should set it up. But that's a problem for another day. I try to rotate the issues, so there's always more work, and I try to jump around, and
It still looks very cool.
yeah, it
Especially
works.
the elephants. They look like they're like the final bosses of recruitment.
Yeah, these are the cannon fans. These are bossy, and they have a lot of health. 17,000 in health compared to
Yeah,
these
I
that
have a
have
question because
2,000.
I actually got to the recruiting the like some units. Why can't they use the small shields? Sorry for interrupting.
Who can't use the small shields?
Like for example, some guards that you can put on walls,
Yeah,
or some mounts. Yeah, the buckler, like the small, the small shield, like you see the
yeah,
one above the armor. You have
yes,
like under the cannons and above the armor, you have like the small circular shield.
yes. So you need to have a one-handed weapon to access
Why
the.
only that one?
Uh, that is because it's like a second-hand shield. You're busy with your hands running the equipment or using a bow and arrow and so on. So in that case, you normally just had a little buckle in your belt or hanging
Yeah.
from your
Oh,
arm.
so that's like represent that you at least can deflect something. Because
Yeah.
I was a bit confused at the beginning. Like, why can my cannons on the walls have a small shield?
Yeah, because they just carry
I
the
don't mind the
crew
extra
are carrying
defense,
small
but
shields.
I was like, huh, wait, where do they put the shield?
Yeah, on the belt. I even think they have it on the belt visually. Let's see if I do archer cavalry here, and they have buckler. Let's see where they show up here. Let's see from the other side. Oh. Oh, there. Maybe I forgot to add them to riding units. No, they're in their hands. Okay. I think I was supposed to put them on their hip, but the time ran out. Yeah, that's it. So they're still holding it.
Yeah, like on the shoulder pads, like pauldron.
Yeah. But in medieval times, people were wearing shields on all the weird ways. I even seen knights, they're running around with shields like a necklace. So they have these big kite shields and they're just hanging from the neck. It looks really fun. But I mean, you didn't want to die, so you did everything you could to have a shield in
Yeah,
front
I
of you.
saw that, but I thought that was like some kind of like, like it's not a face, mom, but medieval time.
Yeah, if you look at old paintings, they often have like rims over the neck and
Like,
over the
especially with a
shoulders.
necklace shield, like that was a bit weird. I saw people that had like shields on the pauldrons or on like the elbow.
Yeah. Yeah, the strapping to the arm was popular on the knights because
Like
because
for me,
they need
maybe
one
it's
hand for
that
the
functionally it made
riding.
sense, but aesthetically it was like, eh?
Yeah. And there's also knight shields where they bind it to the armor to the shoulder, so they have like a shield right here. But I think that's maybe Tournay. Pink
How
little
would that like
ponies.
play with armor?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that is stuff to do. Someday I'm gonna do some system where you can model the parts for your soldiers, and then you can use the Steam Workshop to share. And it could also be cool if they're seen in the multiplayer later, so you can modify your units and it's visible in multiplayer.
Yeah, so basically like Stoneheart, and then you're gonna do the voxel editor.
Yeah, but yeah, the voxel
Yeah, so you
editor is
basically give the
always like
player
in a
the tools and say, have fun.
yeah.
The only limit is your imagination and how well you are with the mouse.
The voxel editor isn't really useful for persons other than me, so that's kind of a barrier. But there are other voxel editors, and I should really try to make those files importable,
Mm-hmm.
so they don't have to use my editor. But it's still stuff that will be missed. Like in my editor, you can have layers, you can have animations, and and you can set limits and so on in a different way. So I'll see what I can do. There's always more work with that. But so far the
Can
interest.
you, maybe this is a weird thought.
Hmm?
I hope I'm not talking too much off topic, but I know some games have like, they have like a standalone editor. So basically they take the editing part and you have it with the game, but it's like a standalone application.
Yeah.
Like like map editors of old.
Yeah. Well, that normally is because they like generate a mesh and then they load the mesh into the game. Since I generate
Yeah.
all models in game and I also combine them to make like the elephants and the soldiers, there's not really any point of having a separate software for it. because all the steps I have to do to generate the model in my game also has to be done in the editor.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because
Plus, it's nice having everything in one place, I think.
show me them mounts and the ballistas.
Well, here's the new recruitment, which is pretty huge right now. You have to scroll and all. And also, I've set up the queuing to work differently. I still have some problem with a recruitment starting like before you're ready. So that's something you have to go back to. People have been on me forever with the stats, but now you can see exactly what stats you're gonna get from what's set up. But I also found some bugs by seeing all the stats showed up. So I mean, it helps that too.
One feedback point about it, because I actually wanted to ask you. So why don't we see the stats if we hover over the item in, for example, the overview tab on global, so we can like have an easy, quick reference for at least what the item does.
You want to have this like weapon damage 80 and so on the items. Is that
because now you have to create the unit or have like a barracks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if you hover on one of the units, maybe, or like when the shield or something, you can see like you have so much damage, movement speed modifier.
Yes. Well, I just found that already now the tooltips are getting out of hand.
I know from the top of my head that if I press on the barracks on conscript, in the
you want to go to the barracks and then watch here.
You have the tower shield, and then you have like a movement speed modifier that's like 60 or something, and they can block like 800%. Yeah, but if you don't have barracks and you want to see what's the best bang for your buck, so to speak, like should I
see you want to have everything
armor or like
right
mail
here
armor because it's like more efficient or something.
Well, I could have it maybe. I just feel like
maybe
this
not
is
even
already
right there, but you already have like a tooltip for the recipe.
Yeah.
Maybe you can have like a
like
beside where you only have the stat.
Yeah, like a conscript or like a recruitment overview right here.
Yes.
That's actually a good point. That I could do. Let me...
Yes, like that. You don't have to make the existing tooltip. You can just add it on the side. Like, it's not invasive. So if the user wants to see it, he can see it.
I'm noting it down so we have it for later.
Have you thought about charges, or maybe like...
Yeah, of course I have, yeah.
How can I say this? If you, for example, have like ponies, and then you like send the blob on the right side, and you attack the other blob from the right with your blob of ponies, they deal like more damage.
Yeah. Well, there is some flanking, so if you attack someone in the back, then the fight should be over pretty quick. Especially if it's shields on shields.
Or is that too much?
No,
calculation.
I see. What you want is more like a physical battle where you calculate the force coming and so on, and that is something I'm working towards. I need way more performance though, because
no, not even calculating the force, but I noticed that the moment there is a detection of impact, like one unit touches another unit, it's like they get locked in battle.
Yeah.
Until they're like finished resolving it.
Yeah.
There is no, for example, retreat and then get attacked in the back, for example, or something.
No, the
It's like this:
micro.
the moment you touch, you're locked in the conflict,
Yeah, the micro is
and it can
still.
be very like not abused, but um, if you have an army that's like not moving as one, but there's like one squad, then another, like in a line, like lemmings. You can destroy an army that's like 10 times your size by just waiting next to the shore.
Yeah, I have plenty of those problems. I haven't worked anything on the war itself since launch, and even since like DSS 1 almost. So that is something that's really been falling behind, and I really hope to. When I'm done with the multiplayer this summer, I'm gonna try to spend the rest of the year just focusing on doing the tactics and the commanding way better. Yeah. So anyway, the city is very deep and complex, and then the armies are the dumbest
Okay.
freaking tactical army ever. It's like worse. It's almost like Risk in the level of strategy. It's like, I have bigger blood. That's why I won.
I mean, it feels like by being risk, um, well, not always. Like, for example, we had lamp ships. Remember those?
Yeah. They're still hovering around. And something that's annoying me really much right now is I have the pathfinding is way too aggressive.
But yeah, back to what you were.
So if I need to add jump nodes, so if I'm asking them to move here, they should just move in a straight line. But they start to muck around and like overcomplicate the movements. So that can be really annoying in some battles where like you start the fight, they're lined
Yeah,
up,
I
and they just
noticed some
run
of this
in each
stuff,
direction.
and I wanted to ask for a clarification. Is this because the tiles have a speed modifier?
Yeah, exactly. So they like go way too hard on looking for the cheapest movements, but they don't calculate the
So we
turning
kind of already
time.
have roads.
Yeah, I have some. I think I added some bonus for keeping the same direction, but it's not enough. But what I need to add is what is called jump nodes. So that is, if I'm pathing from here to here, then if there's like no hindrance at all, they should do no pathfinding. They should just say this is one move. And not until they hit like trees and walls, they should start pathfinding. And that would, because pathfinding is
Yeah. So you like do level of detail and then like basic level of detail, but only if um
no, it's not level
you need
detail.
to do
Level
like
detail,
fine pathfinding, then you're gonna do the entire calculation. Otherwise, you're like just sampling and then
yeah.
tip, you're there.
Because I have level of detail, so I have two levels. But when I move here, you see one layer of detail. And when they move on the map, if I start, that's another layer of the pathfinding.
Yeah.
So it's two layers of pathfinding. So that's one thing. But jump nodes just means that they're skipping the pathfinding if they can. And that both gives better performance and also they move nicer. So that is something.
Oh yeah. So like and that's basically to basically help me better connect. Yeah, like how in Dwarf Fortress you had um that time like time speed or time efficiency, where instead of calculating every second, they did once every 5 and then like average it out.
Yeah.
So there was like a giant FPS game gain in late game. This is something similar with your pathfinding in DSS.
Yeah, pathfinding is right now the hardest choke on the CPU. So if I could improve that, that would do a lot. But I also could improve it by having more layers of pathfinding. Right now I have 2, but I could do a dynamic and have like 8 layers and so on. But it can get pretty complex, and it's easy for it to bug out if I don't do it perfectly. I also rely on the map to
Uh,
always fill out the squares.
I think it also will become a big, I wouldn't say make or break, but nuisance if you had like collisions.
Well, fixing the pathfinding would both help me make better maps, because then I don't have to have those big squares. But it would also make the tactics better. So it helps in both ends.
Also, this is the new map editor.
Yeah, this editor or generator I've been working on.
It 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 almost looks very ready or very fitting for like a world envelope like D&D. Like, okay, I want to have one kingdom over here. I want to do
Yeah,
that. It looks pretty good.
it's just a hate map right now, but um, I'm pretty happy with the look. It's been trying. I try to like generate mountains and then the terrain around it. So
Yeah, that's what you do with the noise, right? With the whiter is like higher, or is it like a different?
yeah, white is this is hate map. So
Yeah.
light green is up, dark green is
Mhm.
lowest to the water, and then you have blue for water. So it's just showing height. Right now I'm gonna add biome and such. And this is, I mean, 1 pixel here is like 1 block in the game. So
Yeah. That's what I also I saw this when you opened it, and I would say I really like it. Like I'm not just impressed. I think people can like use it even for other stuff though. Like, oh, generate map, then use it for some storytelling or like D&D.
yeah,
Um.
the map
Uh,
generating is my own invention, and I was actually able to name it the flying. I call it the flying pencil algorithm, because
oh,
no,
can you like explain a bit? Because now I'm curious.
yeah, it kind of works like if you took paint and just did random strokes with a airbrush. It's kind of the same
Ah,
technique.
yeah.
So if I start with a mountain ridge, I like you can see here, I I I start somewhere, I give it a direction, and then I just kick it off and give it random twists and
Holy, it took me
turns.
like a few seconds to like make the connection that you're actually spot on. And like the mountains or like something, it feels more like a dry brush, like a little bit of swats. Like
Yeah,
there's gonna be a little bit of more.
I'm still using noise, which kind of everyone else uses for the map generation, but I only use the noise to get the edges nice like this.
From how you say it, the noise, can you like explain? Because it feels like you don't want to use the noise at all. Or
Well,
did I like misinterpret it
the the
improperly?
the downside with noise is that um, it's kind of it's harder to make those like big land masses and then a lot of bigger water mass, because the noise will kind of become very it,
Localized, like
yeah,
in one
it
area.
repeats all over the screen, so you can, so it's a very equal amount of water and land all over the area.
Yeah, I think I know what you're getting. Like, what if I want to have like Australia and Europe, for example, like two big land masses with some water and then an archipelago?
Yeah,
It's very hard to get unless you manually start intervening.
yeah. What people normally do is they first shape the world into polygons, and then they fill them in with um, noise. But I
Yeah.
still find that those polygons, they like the corners can become very visible. They have problems. The upside with the noise is like it's very fast, and you can also do it on the fly because it's an algorithm. So Minecraft uses noise, so you don't,
Yeah.
and it only generates the chunks that you go to, and not until then. And it's in theory like an endless generation.
Hmm.
You can keep going. So
Yeah.
the flying pencil that I use, the downside is it's very slow. But I also have a lot more control. So I can, if I want just 2 islands, I can set it up.
Yeah. And it's more easy. What about, for example, I don't know if I'm going a little bit off tangent here about it, but what if you, for example, did a localized noise? You can, for example, say, okay, I want two for islands, like not prompt wise, like with GPT, but let's, for example, say, okay, I want an archipelago or something and two continents. Is it like possible, or is it not possible to like have localized noise that can say, okay, you want two continents, and then they have like you make two continents and they have to end somewhere, like for example the left and top right corner of the map, and then you have like an archipelago on the bottom half? Or
Yeah,
would that require another pass through and another check and
that is
just
kind
take
of
up
what
more generation
people
time?
are doing with the polygons. But
Mm,
if you look at the water, here's like noise on the bottom here to give some
yeah.
structure. And let's say you see this bump here, and
Yeah.
but you can never predict where the bump is. So let's say if I do a square right here and say here
Yeah.
is my island, then you get like a half an island that is cut off right here. So
Yeah, yeah,
you're
yeah.
kind of out of control, and that's it makes it hard. So that's the
I see
downside
what you're
of
getting.
noise. But in some ways, also, if people are using noise, all the maps kind of look the same because they use the same algorithm.
Yeah, it becomes predictable.
Yeah, I have a bit of problem with the. I think the islands they kind of become too rounded. I want I want more pointy islands, but that is hard to do with the algorithm.
Yeah.
So that is something I need to tweak. It's way too round, nice shaped. But yeah, there's always improvements to do. So this is something I've been working on for the map that I call 2.0. It's insane because I have been using the same map since I've been working on the game for 12 years now, and it started off like a turn-based game, and I only had like the big squares that you see from the above, and then when I started working on using soldiers, then I added the 8x8 split later on. But
That's like, it's very impressive how, for example, you have one technique and you develop it, but also by doing it, you get the insights of what you want and how you can, I wouldn't say like recycle it, but implement in the game so it kind of feels still fitting, but it's very refreshing and new. So that's very commendable. Like, that's very impressive.
yeah, the downside right now is the old map now is like it's not dynamic at all. I cannot use any editor or something to paint on it and so on. And
Yeah.
and also the problem with the pathfinding that is it needs the big squares for the doing the multi-level pathfinding,
Yeah, so basically
level of
technology
detail.
locked.
Sorry.
Or like not technology locked, but I forgot the term. Like you're basically at the limit of what your engine can give with the
Yeah, because
current
I just stacked
thing. So
shit on top of shit. Like it's very ad hoc.
yeah,
So I need to completely blow out the old map and start over from scratch. And
I th- I think that will also probably give a lot of new solutions, like current, like maybe not problems, but Pathfinder can maybe be completely revamped as part of the map generation because you're doing it from the ground up.
Yeah. You can't see it here, but uh, I also use like a mip map technique. So I generate the map, I think is 10 times smaller, and then I enlarge it. Just like when you do use Photoshop and you enlarge an image.
Like upscaling
Yeah,
something.
I just scale it up. And I use an algorithm to smooth out the edges. And thereby I could do like I'm thinking like when you're gonna start a game, you can get like 6 small icons of
Yep.
maps, and then you can just click. Ah, I like that one with the two big islands, and then it keeps generating that one, and then you could
Like exactly that one.
yeah, and then I could add
Okay.
so you can paint on it and so on before you enlarge it. So you can do some quick painting. Ah, I want more an extra island, or I want to erase that one.
Yeah.
So I think that's gonna be a lot of fun. I don't know really how I'm gonna do it. If you want to have like uh, exploring with what do you call it? Like when you have the darkness of the map. Fog of War, I think
Like
it's
Fog
called.
of War.
Yeah. So am I gonna spoil the surprise, or people, or will you just forget the map look when you go into the game? I don't know. Or you can maybe have like a no spoilers button.
Yeah, it can work that way. Like no, like map fully explored or like how do you call it? Like hidden.
Yeah. Oh, it's a small issue. But I'm really looking
Yeah.
forward to the new map. I'm gonna work on it next year, I'm thinking.
Yeah. Now I'm kind of also looking forward to it, and kind of like to ask you, why do you want to work next on it when I feel like if you're now gonna spend time on the military overhaul, you're basically going to make the military overhaul good, but it's gonna be good or the best solution for the current map and everything. Because I already like heard Pathfinder is an issue, some kind of like
Yeah, but it
like
starts with the
sample pointing.
military because I have to fix the pathfinding before I fix the map, so it should be the right order.
Ah, okay, okay. Because I thought if you want to fix the pathfinding, you want to first have the terrain done properly so that you have the correct like values or like limits or sample points that then you can use as input for your pathfinding. So it like loops back into one another. But maybe I thought it in the wrong order then.
Yeah, no, I have to start with the pathfinding. Otherwise, it, the multi-level paths won't work on the half ground, half water tiles
Yeah, okay.
that are bigger. So yeah, and and also the maps are mostly like a visual upgrade or appeal upgrade. So I feel like I should work on making the game just better first, and then I can improve
Yeah,
the look
I'm
later.
of the same. You already know me. Like I like function. Like if you gave me basically textureless cubes like they do in like game testing, but you made it cool with like cool music and the cubes that like they had like weird abilities and stuff, I would play it more than just because it looks good.
Yeah,
Because I have the experience that if you make something look good, it kind of feels less in the terms of the actual meat, like the content, and it kind of is tiring. And I'm not gonna go too much of a tangent here, but like most AAA games or even AA have like this bloom, anti-aliasing, all this to make the game look good, to kind of hide the lack of actual content.
yeah,
So they kind of want to keep you busy with, oh look, it's cool, and if you go over there, you might see something cool, but you're still basically using the same mechanic. And basically, when you kind of like get disenchanted with the appearance, you kind of lose interest in the entire game because there is nothing for you to do. It's like just the same thing, only with a different flavor
Do you know
when it comes
what?
to appearance, at least. Hmm?
You are the loud minority.
I do. I thought I
Most
was
people
like more.
prefer good graphics before anything else. That's what I feel.
No, I'm the kind of person that like also says screw. What was it? Anti-aliasing and all that. I disable it because it makes the game look worse in many cases. Like
Yeah.
it makes it look blurry, and that like annoys the hell out of me. Or you have like gloom, or was it bloom? And it makes it look like someone took like a smudge of like Nuln oil or like Agrax Earthshade from like brown, and it's just like, oh, all this beautiful living landscape. Yeah, let's just paint brown over it.
Mm.
You like that beautiful futuristic, how do you call it? Like technical improvement. Like, look, 10 years ago, you had all this beautiful, vivid color. Now it looks brown.
Yeah, it's
Actually,
funny. I think I saw some investigation where like no one ever like Bloom, but they still add it.
yeah, I don't understand it. Like, I genuinely, I don't know why. I like disable it since I can remember. Maybe in like older games, but that was like very few games. I think one of the games where I had like everything enabled, and then I kind of prayed my graphics card doesn't die is like Crisis and Crisis 2. Like not even the remasters, like the old ones, because they were so far ahead of the time with the technology and how it looked in appearance. But other games, nah, I disable it.
Yeah, I think it's there's like an obsession of making games look like movies when you
Now
promote them.
I don't think it's even the obsession of making them look good, but what I noticed for
Not
a
good,
longer
but they
time
should
is
look
that
like movies. If you like AAA industry,
oh yeah
they're
yeah
very inspired
I
by
was
movie look.
I was more going to lean to the thing like not just that, but also by using technologies that, for example, an engine gives, because everyone wants to use Unreal Engine now or Unity or whatever. Most they don't develop their own engine nowadays. They kind of um, lean on that technology, and then they like abandon the entire optimization aspect. Why should I make our models look good? Why should I use less polygons? Or that if I could just have like the nanite mesh and then enable like anti-aliasing or something, and then basically, yeah, you need a better computer to play it. No. Like GTA 5, for example, it's optimized to run on a potato almost, and
Yeah,
it
it's
still looks
amazing.
good. Yeah.
But
So that
yeah,
was like kind of the example. Like it's the I wouldn't say like they're avoiding optimizing, but probably the middle management or like more like the distributor or executives. Um, I won't go too far because I probably gonna start speaking French and insults. But they like, yeah, we need to make product now, improvement now, get revenue, and yeah, we don't care if problems arise now. It's for the people after release, but then they don't even fix it. But yeah, that's a bit of the thing. So back to the game. DSS2, I mean.
yeah. I should maybe not talk too much about optimization because that's a common critique DSS get, that is running slow. And I know it's an issue. Um,
I
right
mean,
now,
running slow.
yeah, some people have a lot of problem with the game running slow. It
Ah, okay.
comes mostly from the render calls, because right now each tile and each item is a render call on its own,
Yeah.
and in even if the your graphics engine or graphics card, they can render like billions of polygons and it won't even
Yeah.
make a hiccup. But the problem is like every time you send more information to the graphics card, both the CPU and the graphics card have to freeze because they're like working
Yeah, they're
in
exchanging information.
Yeah, because they have to freeze, exchange the information, and then keep running. And then that happens each time you do like a render call, what it's called.
Yeah,
So,
I think I exactly had a problem with this recently. Not with DSS2, but there's a game called Star Sector, and they do it. And the problem was the game was having frame drops, and I thought first it was my RAM. But what was happening, my CPU and my hard drive, my NVMe, they share the same bus on the motherboard.
yeah,
So yeah, I have like 16 lanes for the GPU, but they also like shared shadow, I think shadow lanes they're called, with the CPU. So I had to move the game to a completely different drive to like fix very heavy frame drops.
oh,
But so I kind of understand because I first disabled like shadows and everything, and then the game ran smoothly with like 90 FPS, even in combat. But the moment I, for example, enabled lightning or shadows, even with OpenGL optimizations, the game like went to 10 FPS.
yeah. So
So for the people that have lag, did you like ask them to see if they can lower, like for example, the shadow amount?
yeah, I think the problem is like people, they see the game, oh, it's cute, it's simple, so they kind of expect it to run fast. Like they don't really connect that. Even if it's ugly models, they still have the same render call as a beautiful model with a million polygons. It doesn't really
Yeah,
matter. It's a small freeze that happen each time you send a model that is slowing down your computer, and it doesn't really matter how they look. So people have weird expectations for the game. It's like,
yeah, I
oh,
think
this
they're hitting
game
that.
has to run fast because it looks simple, but
I think
that's not at all the
it's that
truth.
niche audio. I wouldn't say niche audience, but you're in that position, I think, where you're between like Dwarf Fortress and Factorio and like Stoneheart, and where the games run fast. So people that like played Factorio and Dwarf Fortress, they probably know if they make things look good, it's just gonna frame their not FPS but like IPS,
Yeah,
like the amount of frames processed by the CPU, and they're gonna be like, the game has to work well because it looks so simple, and they're gonna be like internally screaming, me included. And then you're gonna have like people from Stoneheart. Oh yeah, the game looks cute and all, but there's not a lot of stuff going on the map. Yeah, well, unless you amp up all the settings, and you're attracting both audiences. That's what I was kind of like hinting towards.
yeah,
Like you're at that point where you have like, oh, it's cool because it's simple. That like it's complex because it looks simple.
exactly. Ugly
Yeah.
but deep, as we say.
Yeah.
So anyway, the common solution to the render calls is like baking the game into one giant model and then sending it. And that is kind of what I have to do. I'm gonna, instead of having separate models for each house and each field here and each and so on, everything that doesn't move should be baked into one big chunk and then sent. So that is
Yeah, yeah,
something I have to
because they
work
become
with.
like like the world layer. Where you basically have the world, it's like made once and then it's like static, it doesn't change. So you only save the information that, for example, this square and this position on the map is, for example, a mountain and has like these values. You don't have to like render entire things with like complete meshes and all that. You only do that once, but after that, it's like you only have like the information there, and you only
Yeah,
use it
the map,
load when necessary.
the game is too big to save every chunk into memory. So I have to
Yeah.
redo them each time I look at them, or each time like people, let's say they build something or they chop
Mm-hmm.
down the tree. I still have to remodel the whole model, but it's not a big deal. Um,
Yeah.
the
Is
problem
it?
is more
Uh,
like some of these models are shrunk down and some are sized up. So, but once I bake it together, I want to have every square to be like one size. So it will become like more like Minecraft, where everything is.
yeah, that was what I wanted to ask. Like, because now you probably also are losing some performance because you have to like resize, but then you bake it. So that
Yeah,
would like
resizing doesn't cost
mitigate it.
any performance at all.
Not that much. I thought that if you have to do like resizing, rescaling, it would have some impact, like
No.
marginal, but still there. Okay.
I just
Um.
I always when you render a model, you send something that is called a matrix, and that is
Yeah.
like a weird math combination of scale and rotation and size and all. And
Okay.
no
Yeah.
matter
Yeah.
the
I think.
size, it's always the same amount of data I'm sending.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So scaling is
That makes
completely
it.
free.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I was probably thinking in like more polygons per that, but that doesn't matter in this
Yeah,
game.
that is just
Then.
larger polygons.
Yeah. Not more, but just like. The other question was like, in Minecraft, if you get from a certain distance, from like the, let's say, in this case, the player model, which I can like say in DSS2 it would be the camera. Do other stuff like still get rendered, or do you like try to save performance by not doing that? Because it would like not make sense to have something rendered on the other side of the world where you can't even see it.
Yeah, I only render the things you see. But all games do
Okay.
that. That's just a classic smoke and mirror. If you move the map fast, you can see it jumps in on the edge.
Yeah, if you press like one from
Yeah,
the other side of the world, you can see that it's like
yeah.
trying to load the tiles. Like one if you want to go to a
Yeah,
different
you can
city.
see it's
Different.
always loading the tiles on the
Yeah.
edge, and
Hmm.
it's pretty fast, but it's sometimes delayed. And I also have when you zoom in, there's like a short delay before it starts fading, just to give the map a chance to render.
Yeah.
Or excuse me, generate. So uh, and this here is one big model, but it's not many polygons at all, so I can make them one big, with the exception of the buildings and the armies are separate models.
Hmm.
But there's not much rendering in this layer, so it's very fast. And this
Okay.
layer
Yeah.
here, this is just an image where I set the pixels. So
Yeah.
this is like the old style of rendering where I manually set pixels in memory. So, and this texture is very small too, so it's very fast to edit. And I just re-render it when I change the filter here. So
Yeah.
there's like, this is just a playing with a texture, and this is one big model, and then I go in,
Yeah.
whoop, and then
Oh,
each
I
chunk
actually
here
have a
is one
question about
model,
it.
and each house and building and character is one model. Yeah.
Um, I when you zoom out and you use the filter, and you specifically go to the resource filter.
Yeah.
So, why does it only show if the resource is present in a province that is occupied?
Hmm.
So let's go.
I think
Yeah,
I just
to the resource.
override unused ones and didn't think more about it.
Yeah,
But
because I, for
that should
example,
be a feature. You're correct.
yeah, because I was not annoyed, but it was like it threw me off, and I first thought it was not updating the render until I like zoomed in and zoomed out, because it changed the layer, but I thought like, oh, the layer is only changing if I press something, but it's not updating, so I have to zoom in and then zoom out, and then only
Yeah.
later I discovered, oh wait, it's only showing colonized provinces.
I should
Like,
also add
because I,
animals to this list. Honestly.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah, then it would maybe be better if you didn't do it in like one list, but had
Yeah, two
categories. Like,
tabs.
with the other tabs, you have like
Yeah.
weapons, armor. Here you could have like, um, I don't know, agricultural commodities and like minerals, and then like flora, fauna, or fauna. So basically, here you have, I don't know, a tree, a different tree. Then you have like different tab with all the minerals, and then the third tab is like you have the animals, because that it would still be organized and how do you call it, like cohesive, and it would still be the same like in all the other menus, but it still would have that all that information that you want.
Yeah. I should write it down somewhere. Let's do. Let's see. There we go. My way too long to-do list. Woo. That's just issues.
Hey, it's getting shorter sometimes. You're getting through it, especially with the bug fixes. You're very fast with
I
that.
have like 15 pages of issues just listed. That's not depressing at all.
Nah, to me it sounds like an adventure. Like it's like, oh yeah, we fixed one. Yes.
Yeah, check off.
Now, now I can have a
sometimes I
cup
just
of coffee and a day off.
sometimes I just wipe the list and start over because it's too depressing.
Yeah. So you wipe the list
Yeah,
because it's depressing,
I do it every
and then
year
you
at
start
least.
writing the list again, just to like go through that depression cycle. Oh yeah, okay, what's the bug fixes?
Yeah,
All
but
right, page 15.
When you're reaching like 50 pages, it's like, what's the point?
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
issues
I
will
see
appear
what you get.
faster than I can fix them. So
Yeah. And some of them might be already fixed, but you like forget to remove them. But,
yeah,
And
exactly.
then they're there, and you're like, oh, but I
Well,
thought I
they're
fixed them.
so
And they're
small,
like,
so I don't need to bother. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of issues I'm ignoring because people stopped complaining because they care about other stuff.
Or the bug became a feature.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so.
You know, I already have a question
Yeah.
because I was thinking about it, about the generation. What about rivers and lakes?
Yes. Yeah, that's tricky.
And then more like, not about this map generator, but like the next one. You don't have to go to the next one, but like, is that a possibility, or is it like a hard, not even a hard limit, but like, it's something that would change the way you go about, for example, Pathfinder generation, so much that it's not worth the pursuit.
Yeah, I think rivers are important, especially for like tactics and you want to build like what do you call it? Bridges and so on. There's a lot of challenges with rivers. You have to. It's water, but somehow it's not sea, so you have to do some type of separation. And also the expectations will be different. Like all cities depend
River
on water.
battles, that kind of stuff. Yeah, I see what you're getting at.
Yeah, the cities depend on water, and if you see just a big river, and you're out of water in your city, that's kind of, that will be like a miscommunication. So
Yeah.
then I may probably have to redo how the resources come and goes to still have some balance. And
so you would have to like redo the entire economy basically.
Yeah, because it's all based on water now, and I can't do that.
Yeah.
I will probably have to have some like fertile ground limit or something like that.
Yeah. For example, like I said, fish. For example, you have sea. Is fish also a possibility in the next version?
Yeah, of course.
Or is that all? Yeah. Because I was thinking like maybe it might be a limitation with how water is, or like the sea tiles are handled. Just like how now mountains are treated. For example, you can't walk on mountains, but trees still grow on them.
Yeah. yeah, the all that stuff I want, but yeah, it will lead to a lot of complications. The
Yeah, yeah. So it's
fishing
best for
itself is
later.
just uh, the animations can be tricky, and also like I will do the food that is already way too complex. I will do it even more complex.
Yeah, yeah.
But it will be cool for sure. Um, I really
But
want
they'll
to have
probably
some type of big ship upgrade. So at some point, I do the ships as a separate unit type, and maybe then I
yeah.
should do like a fishing boat system at the same time to keep with the theme.
Yeah, yeah, like a bit of how was it like I think like Age of Empires maybe that you have like a fishing boat, a little frigate, a galleon, and then maybe if you're maximum technology, you can put a ship on a wagon and then you have a line ship.
Yeah.
Imagine like four elephants or war fans just like bulk. There's like a massive ship on land. It's gonna be like, huh?
Well, I have some ideas around that. I've been talking about having going to Renaissance and then doing like a Renaissance punk era at the end of the game. And then I'm thinking like big trains pulled by oxen and all that. Doing something
Okay,
nuts.
so it was like I think you would call it like animal punk then maybe.
Yeah,
Like not
more
like
like
steampunk or something, but
yeah, but it's before engines like steam and electricity. So it's like going punk before that age.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Boomer punk.
and you know that trains in the beginning were all pulled by horses. So I want to do like a train system that is like growing and only animals driven and going really nuts. That would be cool.
That would be like insane if you add like how to like manure and all that.
But but I know there. I've been reading some stories from early early Iron Age where they're like Vikings and such. They were building big walls on wheels and rolling them down the hill, so they were protected all the way through arrows and such. So they could, so they made like a hand-driven wooden fort or something. It's like it
Yeah, yeah.
described very vague, but so you have to let your imagination go. But so, but at least they were. We know they were using some type of movable uh, wood fortress
Yeah, like
during an
those
attack.
weren't those like also like those ancient Roman war engines or also like giant carts? Let me think. I need to like think. Yeah, I think I was gonna send you the link via Discord. It's from Lindy Beige, but
Yeah. Well,
yeah, I like watching it. But he talks about that Roman vehicle, so something more like that, but then like walls or like giant like
yeah. That image is some weird AI image, but
yeah
they made carts to counter elephants,
yeah
and they are described. They use some type of normal cart, and then they made like a big hook on the top. Uh,
Oh, I thought they had like instead of the animals on the front, they had the animals on the back, and they like pushed the cart, and they
yeah,
had
that
like
could be true.
yeah, I think it was Donington. I think that was called. Wait, anti-elephant cart.
Yeah. And I don't know if they used the hook to push off the rider off the elephant. But they used it somehow. The elephants
Yeah,
had a lot of what do you call it? They they were mainly used like a fair tactics. They weren't really effective during war, but people will just run away from it.
Yeah, it was more like the fear factor instead of
Yeah.
the actual force multiplier.
It's like the tanks in World War One. I heard that not a single tank reached an enemy during the First World War, but they won like 8 battles just by driving towards the enemy.
Wait, like didn't reach the enemy?
Yeah, because they
I
always broke
mean,
down or got stuck somewhere or something.
yeah. But
They were
because I
total
was like,
garbage.
yeah, because you also could like penetrate them with like small
Yeah,
firearms.
yeah,
That
yeah.
was
They
also like
had so much,
those are like
and some of them were killing the crew because the gases were going inside.
yeah, or I think it was like didn't even kill them, but they had like they were like rattling so much, so the people inside they got like how do you call it, like lifelong like physical trauma, like
Yeah,
not
well, they
just
had to wear
tinnitus,
like
but like
masks, gas masks to drive it.
yeah, but also like their bones were like rattling, and they had like problems because the tank was like driving how do you call it, like a blender or like mixer,
Yeah,
so you're just like shaking in it.
that is a great example of fair value,
Yeah,
where they, if you look at the tanks, they never did any difference at all in war, but just people knowing they were coming, they were running away from the posts.
yeah, or they were able redirecting resources because it was, I think it was more like also the fear factor,
Yeah,
plus
it was just the fear
you
factor.
were, yeah, but also like not just because of the tank itself, but suddenly you have new technology. Like like the Germans. I think it was like the Germans at the beginning. They had like Pickelhaube. They did those line attacks. Like everyone they charged. So the Gatling gunners from the other side were like, those guys are insane, and you saw them coming because they had like those giant flashy Pickelhaube. Like, like those like reflected sunlight. Like it's, I don't know, like a mirror. So that was like, oh yeah, easy to hit. And then they changed it because technology was advancing so quickly, so people had to change the entire time, and at one point the technology outpaced how people would even interpret or comprehend it. So when you like saw the tank or what was it, like gas attack or some other stuff, it was like, yeah, I'm out.
Yeah, yeah. That was the issue. That where we're going from the Roman era of line battle and where we're meeting rapid fire,
Yeah,
and in some ways the leadership didn't want to deal with it in the beginning, so they just kept on marching people forward. He's saying the idea is good, but execution is a retextured Excel. I mean, aren't this game supposed to be like a spreadsheet? The game, that's the whole point to me, at least. Um, I hope it gets fixed in future updates. No, it will still be a Excel document. It's way too
yeah,
laggy
like
for such a small game. Oof, I'm insulted. Small game?
yeah, um I encountered this kind of reviews with lots of games, and the point is, like in the past, I kind of could get a good feeling of, okay, maybe this is just someone trolling, this is someone being genuine, this is someone like maliciously like giving a bad review or something. Nowadays, with all the systems and also how the people can just be like, I don't like game bad review, and then they just never update it. It's kind of a bit harder for me nowadays to like feel when the person is like genuine, if I speak from a genuine point, or just like
Yeah, but I
maybe
think
it's hard to
I don't
explain.
think it's trolling. This is something I hear often about, like my game being small, and
Yeah, I
I
think
just think
for
that again that is just a misunderstanding of what performance is in a game.
yeah, but I also feel like that's probably me, that there's too little information given. It's too generic. So in my mind, it kind of also deviates. It might be just an AI generated convincing bad review or something. Like if you see the same review a lot of times,
Yeah,
you kind of start to spot like the similarities of the patterns. Like it might have been done with one of the AIs. Not saying that it was, but it kind of gives that feeling, and that like, eh. So for me, like, if I would speak from that person's point of perspective, um, he probably never played a game that was like a spreadsheet, like for maybe like a roguelite. And then we're not even talking like Dwarf Fortress Adventure Mode, but what was it, like Caves of Quid, or what was the other one, Cogmind, because that sort of is also like a spreadsheet. A na się like Polish reviews. Świetna gierka, uzależniająca wręcz. Dev na bieżąco czyta opinie graczy, report o bugach, rozwija swój projekt, to ma duży potencjał, serio. This is basically a good review what says, amazing game, how do you call it? Like it's unique in its execution. The developer is on the go, so real time reading player opinions and reports about bugs, and he is expanding his project. So it has a lot of potential. That's basically what the Polish review with like 40 hours says.
Yeah.
So
I found
it's
that is a very common trend, even in the good reviews, that people say like this will be a good game someday.
yeah, but it's also
The potential.
yeah, it's similar to what I remember, like not to yeah, Dwarf Fortress, but like Factorio. But Factorio is more like, yeah, it started as digital crack, and it stays crack. Dwarf Fortress is like, oh yeah, maybe it will be good when they add mouse support. But now I'm just like upvoting because it's a good game, and the developers spend like I think half their lives at this point or more like that on the game. So it's like, yeah, I like it because of the dedication. So it gives that energy, but it also like indicates that
I think
there are
it's
people that
22
not
years since they started on Dwarf Fortress, or something
how
like that.
many? I think
It
yeah,
could
I'm
be
gonna
longer,
Google
yeah.
that later. Yeah, but to go back to you, it shows that the gamers that really played, and you can see the difference. Like for example, 40 hours and then like a review.
Yeah.
They don't look at just how much content there is, but they come back to it because you don't do a run for 40 hours. Well, you can, but I have questions
Yeah. Well,
because I did that.
it's very noticeable that the game has some type of barrier, but when people pass the barrier, they normally love the game. But they
Yeah,
need a few hours to get over the hump, and that's not for
uh,
everyone.
yeah, and I don't have insight into as a developer's view or reviews, or maybe I need to like figure it out with Steam yet as a user. From like, can you see like how much, of, for example, a repeating review happens from a certain demographic? Like like for
I cannot
example,
see
Gothic
any
and all that.
demographics, no, from the review.
Yeah, like for example, people from Eastern Europe, I'm just gonna be dry. They like love Gothic, but maybe people from Western, they would say it's too dark, it's too depressing. While people from Eastern, it's like, yeah, it's relatable. Positive review, like like Stalker 2, like or What Happened for Decay. Yeah, people like it.
I
Oh
actually
yeah, it's a
noticed
fantasy
one.
grim dark.
I actually noticed
Yeah,
one trend. Every Asian wants some type of hero units.
like hero units or heroine, like female lead
No,
units.
just if you watch like Chinese movies, there's always like a they're always like one man armies that like a guy just waves his swords and like 500 people die. That
Yeah,
style.
I think the difference is like I think that's wuxia or like xiangxia. That's like sword and martial arts, and that is the entire trope of like power one
Yeah.
versus many. And then you also have
But
like uh,
half of the Chinese reviews are asking for that.
what's for example the menu for cesspits. That's what I also wanted to ask.
The cesspit, yeah.
Yeah, like you can destroy items and you get like I think what was it, charcoal or something for it.
Yeah, yeah, you can get some energy, or what do you call it? Yeah, coal.
Yeah,
Fuel, that's the name. Um, so I made the cesspits because now you have restricted. I've restricted the stockpile now, so you can only have so many as you have stockpile buildings.
yeah.
And then you can come to a situation where you want to produce more than you can stockpile. And that is two reasons. You maybe want to breed in a very high pace, and you don't
Yeah.
have the setup to slaughter all the animals.
Hmm.
So then you can just throw the unwanted animals in the cesspit to breed faster. And you can also do it when you're doing practice. Sometimes you like you practice smithing on like a lower tier sword to be able to make the higher tier swords if you don't want to build schools.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're getting at. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so then
Like,
you can just put the bad swords in the cesspit and keep producing until they're all trained to do the high level swords. So it's just in that rare case where you feel locked by the limit of the
yeah, yeah.
stockpile.
That's yeah. I didn't think about leveling it though. That like sticks with me. Like that's interesting. Like
Yeah,
leveling with suspects. I need to try it in a playthrough. Like
I
I
know you.
will try.
Who built all these
Hmm?
schools?
Um.
Yeah, that is you. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I know you love the
I.
schools, but I designed the game to actually be more efficient at just training them through working, because then you both get stuff and they level up faster. So that is kind of how
Yeah.
you should do it. The schools are just there, so you won't be soft locked.
Oh. So you're
But
like, yeah, the schools are there
everyone
not
is
to be soft
obsessed by
locked me.
using the schools, so I'm not getting away from them. So
Yeah, yeah. No, I really like that there are options. I just didn't think that there are like. I don't think the cesspit has that information that you can. I think that should be part of the tutorial then. From a game design, like you don't need schools to like power level. You can also,
yeah,
for
but
example, get returns without, for example, building serviceman by having a cesspit, something like that. I think that I'm gonna write it down because that maybe the tutorial video I can like.
well, if I start a new game here, let's see, tutorial. Um, when I get through the tutorial, you get a advisor mission here, which you can run, and
Yeah.
this is not in debug. Oh, here we go. That one, let's see, at some point starts to select the city there, yeah, and here it starts to tell you to do slingshots and bows, and
Yeah.
that is start of the I designed the tutorial to be like a more like a discovery more than I prefer you to discover the principles than telling the principles, because
Yeah,
I
yeah, no, I
found that
understand.
be more efficient.
Can you go back to like I think the third one, mission 3 or like mission 4? Can you go
No, I
back to
cannot
the
go
tutorial?
back in missions right now. Sorry.
Okay, one of the things is I saw that find your city with the most trees. I think you could like change how it's written to uh, pick a city with trees. Because now if you have more provinces you don't have, because I see 1-1, it would be like would the some people would interpret it literally and like see which one
Yeah, but
has more trees than the other.
if you enter advisor and you only have one city, it actually adds a new mission that tells you to first do a new settlement.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
So it's actually dynamic and adapting to the situation a bit.
Now that's pretty cool. When the advisor isn't just
Yeah.
like your stock static clippy. Did you know you can do
I
this?
know that
Yes.
the tutorial and the advisor have some problems with the game is very dynamic and you don't really know exactly what resources you have access to. So some people get kind of soft locked in the tutorial, and that is unfortunate. But I cannot also not spend all my time on
Yeah,
making the
the
most
game
perfect
isn't
tutorial.
meant to hold your hand. It still like requires you as a player to kind of have that intuition or like that drive to discover. And by looking through the tabs on the left, for example, when you press it, you might find something new that isn't explained in the tutorial right now, but you're like, oh, cool. So I'm going to look at that first and I'm going to follow the tutorial. Um, One feedback point beside it, maybe change the background of your tutorial thingy to the same on the left. I don't know if it's me or something, but I find the difference in color a bit.
The reason the tutorial is looking so horrible is I had a lot of playtesters never finding it. So it was this color before, and people kept asking me, where is the tutorial? I cannot find it.
So, okay, that's the first one. I heard something like that in all games, but that's like the what in my mind the first solution would be maybe change the borders, which are now white, to the same color of your hat, like red, something like that.
Yeah.
But you also have a point, like maybe, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't until I made it very screamy until people noticed it. So that,
Yeah,
that
because
is
it's
through
so
testing.
different.
But you
Yeah.
always you always get amazed what people miss when you play.
Yeah.
I remember one of my first games where like you were like a lumberjack and you pressed A for one attack and X for the other one.
Yeah.
And all my testers were like, what button do you use? What button do I use? And the only HUD I had was like your score up here, and then you had like
Yeah.
a icon for the X button and the weapon and the A button and another weapon. So it was like, I felt it was so obvious. Like you could just see them right here, but nope, people don't
Yeah,
see
because
them.
yeah, I think that's also a thing when you're at the designer, you're not the player. So as a designer, you know that it's there, so you have that bias that you
Yeah,
already know. So you maybe, yeah, I see what you're getting, and I also think like, yeah,
but
that makes sense.
when you start a new complex game, or like if you start up Photoshop for the first time or something
Mm-hmm.
a bit more complex, um, what you kind of do is like, because your brain can handle all the information, is like you just go blind for everything on the screen, and you just look for
Oh yeah,
that
yeah,
thing that is flashing and trying to tell you where to start.
yeah, yeah. It's like zone
So
out. So your
you
brain tries to
yeah, it might
like,
seem obvious, it's just right there, but when you start up the game for the first time, there's just too much information, and you go blind. So that
yeah,
is
yeah,
probably the
because
reason people don't see the tutorial, even if it's straight up there.
yeah, it also makes sense because I think like with complex applications, something, even if you look over the things like it's right there, your brain tries to process everything on the go. Like you look from left to right, and your brain tries to immediately kind of put some connection or like context to everything like you pass through, even though you're ignoring it. It kind of adds like this subconscious like fatigue or like exhaustion.
Yeah.
Like you're spending idle processing power on something.
Also,
It's like async
um,
processing.
another if you're designing games, you should know
Yeah.
that if something happens and you're interacting with it, like see if I'm supposed to select these guys here, you get like a narrow viewpoints right here, and you
Yeah.
can only see that this much on the screen happening.
Mm-hmm.
So if I need to do some information surrounding these guys, I need to have it right around here, or people won't see it. That's why
Yeah.
tooltip
And
are so good, because they're just straight up there, so you know it's related.
yeah.
But that is also
And it's also
something you
dynamic.
often like when you start making games.
Mm-hmm.
You don't understand why people can't see stuff, but it's because like if they're fighting a monster and information about the fight is over there in the corner, they won't see it, because
Yeah, because all
your
the adrenaline
eyes
happens in
works
the
in a
middle of the
way
screen.
where you like zone in on a point.
Yeah. Did you know you can press I to open inventory and eat cheese? No, I'm fighting a dragon. Nah, but I understand what you mean. Because I was thinking, how about flashing? Then just like a question, like like flash, like bright, like white, red, or something to like pull the attention towards it, or is that not like a
Yeah, but
viable?
if I now have this here, I cannot have it flashing all the time because uh,
Yeah,
that will pull.
cause epilepsy.
No, it's just too annoying. And there's also an effect if you have too much flashing, and you want to
Hmm.
look at something else. I call it eye pulling. So let's say if all this edge were flashing right now, and
Yeah.
you want to do something else. The problem is each time it's flashing, your eyes will automatically pull back to here.
Yes, you get distracted.
Yeah, so it will make everything else really hard to do because your brain is constantly distracted by the flashing.
Yeah, and then you have this. Okay, I want to do this, but it keeps saying no. You have to do this first. They're like, ah.
Yeah, it's really distracting, and you can have the issue by I notice sometimes people have games where the UI is so much brighter than the game itself, and
Yeah.
it's really hard to look at the game because your eyes just keep crawling back to the UI.
Mm-hmm.
Because the
Uh,
our eyes are uh, made to always notice the most like flashing or bright stuff.
Yeah, but you put contrast from what was it 2.2 default up to like 3.3.5. Look at me, I'm bright. You need to pay
Yeah.
attention to me. Nah, but yeah.
So anyway, to summarize, I actually
Mhm.
do in the advisor missions. I set up a mission where you practice on slingshots and then I start doing bows, and I
Yeah.
also do a mission later where you can use the schools, and then I do
Hmm.
a third mission where I say you can select do a school or practice. So it's like a reminder.
Yeah, yeah. What I was trying to like ask, so does this in the tutorial like also explain the cesspit?
No. The cesspit is a extreme special case thing. I don't think I need to explain it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
only for like scarred veterans like you who want to like
Me,
super
never using
optimize.
cesspit, I just build more schools. We need more schools. Nah, but yeah.
I'm thinking
And then I
like
have a.
at some point you
Mhm.
will like come to the idea I need some way to get rid of these items, and at that point you will understand the cesspit. I don't think I have to explain it before then. You will I think
Yeah,
you will come to a point where I need this thing.
yeah. What I was more to think of, I know that most buildings kind of like say a little bit what they do. I need to start the game, like to check real quick. I'm just gonna boot DSS2 because I want to make sure that I'm not saying something weird.
Yeah, I'm having that yellow
Does
text like turn
Yeah, the
animals into
tooltip,
food.
like turn waste into fuel or something, or
Yeah.
like face turn select resource into something like that. Because also what kind of confused me or like threw me off, you have those, you have the butcher, then you have like the dryer, and then you I think have the what was the other one?
Smoker.
Butcher, smoker, yeah, yeah, and the dryer and the smoker, they kind of look the same icon wise, like not really. You can see like the different frame and all,
Yeah.
but it feels like the yellow text there is a little bit how do you call it, um
Conserved food
in
crafting station.
yeah, like what's the difference between those two? Like with the others you have like for example the
The dryer is
cook.
just better because it doesn't use fuel, but you can only use it in desert biome. So it's one of those
Yeah.
that I felt like the deserts are kind of boring because they don't have trees and they have less water and so on. And so I
Yeah,
wanted to like have some fun bonuses for using deserts. So this is one. You can make salt pits
yeah, I
and
saw
dry out
that.
salt.
That
So that's another one, and the elephants, of course.
yeah,
The elephants can only be bred in the deserts.
only be bred in deserts. Okay, I need to remember that for later. If I want to like transport them to the north
I
of
I, I
Egypt.
can I can say that the reason I'm stressing with the update is just because I wanna update on the medieval fest on Steam, because
Yeah, yeah.
that is a great opportunity to make the game more visible. It will probably fail, and it's just gonna be the Manor Lord fest again. But
Now I think that's look. I mean, Manalords is like like if I'm gonna do simple, it's like the GTA 6 of RTS for now, right?
yeah,
They got a big update.
people love
Everyone knows
that
it.
game to a ridiculous degree. But yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm more Excel
I
management,
I
Evo
found the
9.
fest to be if there's like a Steam fest,
Mm-hmm.
they're normally most efficient if they are kind of have a slim audience. So like you have the cash. What do you call it? Um, if you have incremental games or you have puzzle games or those that have a smaller audience, because then all the games that is interesting will have a chance to be visible.
Oh, like
But
that.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I
a
thought you.
medieval theme, isn't that like half of the Steam games? It's a
Um,
bit too wide. So that,
it's like an all catch play. It's 30%. It's like 30% is medieval. The other one's like online multiplayer. Blah blah. Okay, maybe skewed numbers, and then like the rest is just like 18 plus explicit point and click games, which I don't understand why they are so popular. But then what you said, like with lean audience, I misinterpreted because I thought it was like, okay, they're like the people that only play this kind of niche of games, and they're looking for different games. So they're kind of like all the other similar games that they play. So you know that they will probably discover your game because they're
yeah,
looking for something that's just like that. It's like, okay, someone made like DSS 2 or like DSS Lite or something. I don't know, DSS, but in the future. And you like retextures all your buildings in the future, and instead of normal buildings, you have like space hovering thingies. Like, it's almost a clone, but it's not a clone because it adds like new mechanics like Pal World. And all the people that played like your game will probably like the other game, but it's because it's almost a clone of your game, but it adds like a twist or something different. It's not a clone exactly, but it has like lots of similarities. So it'll be very easy to get into and again get the time for your buck. So like the enjoyment that you had with DSS2, you would get with that DSS Lite, whatever.
yeah,
So that's what I thought when you meant like lean audience. Like it's like they're in a niche, but they're still looking for like more of the similar games. Like like that space game X4. People probably played like Starpoint Gemini or what was the other one? There are a few single player games like the one that's kind of like a spaceship game, but it's more like arcade shooter RPG. Wait, um, it has a two behind, so I know
yeah.
that I know the name once I see the name. It was Everspace 2.
Ah,
It's also like spaceship fly arcade, but it's like more RPG and all, but it's still spaceship shooty booty, go to point, fly, maybe build something. It has like all the same mechanics, but like packaged differently, maybe flavored differently. Like Paul would versus Pokemon. The one that played one would probably play the other because it's the same but different. That's what I kind of try to
yeah.
explain. Apologies.
It, Steam knows that the best marketing is leading people to similar games they just played. We all talk about wanting new experiences, but everything shows that if you just played a fun puzzle platformer or something, and then you
Yeah.
just want the next puzzle platformer to fill the gap when you're done with one. I also
Because
talking of Steam Deck, Steam were nice and sent me one, even if they're like low on them.
Like
And
the one or like the newer revision?
yeah,
Because
it's
that's pretty good.
I ordered a LCD because I was like, I can take one of the crappy ones. I don't care. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
set up the controls. But they were out of LCDs, so I got a OLED instead. But it's supposed to be a dev kit, but it's just a normal. There's nothing special with it. It's just a
Oh,
standard
so
OLED.
compensation for no dev kit, you get the better screen. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. The good
Might
thing
kind of
with
make sense.
if I had a dev kit, I'm normally not allowed to show it to anyone. So the good thing with having just a retail version is like I can actually show it to people.
Okay. Wait, so is the dev kit yeah, I'm probably going a bit of tangent here. My apologies again. But is it like the Nintendo Switch 1? Because I have the first revision of the Switch 1 and there is an exploit that if you I think it was like you short circuit one of the you short circuit I think on the left Joy-Con. You slide it out and then you like short circuit one of the like the plates, and then you
Yeah.
can like bypass the entire security of it, and you can like
Yeah, that's not
jailbreak
really
it.
a dev kit. They have dev kits, but they normally have like a few new big buttons on the front that looks like they shouldn't belong there, and you can press them to double your RAM memory and such.
Oh yeah, yeah. So it's like an actual dev kit. It's not like
Yeah, it's when you want to run all the debug info, it's normally eats a lot of memory and so on. So they have extra capabilities
yeah.
crammed in. I have
No,
two
okay, okay.
old
Then
Xbox kits that are like that, and I'm not
you
allowed to show them to anyone. But they are like a normal Xbox, but they're like have no color whatsoever. They're just super white.
yeah.
And they
I
have a
think I know
few
what you
extra
mean.
buttons and a few extra in and out ports on the back. Yeah, the thing I notice it on is like when you try to push buttons with your finger with a click like this, is you get the click and then you get the mouse position. So the click will always happen on the last place you clicked.
Yeah,
If you move your so if I put the mouse pointer here and I click here, the click will come before the mouse is moved.
yeah,
So we'll click over here instead. So that's why it doesn't work. If you're not annoyed by it, you can hold your finger down for 10 milliseconds or so and then click. Then it works, but that's really annoying to do.
that sounds like you wanted really immersive VSync delay. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
but it sounds like
but
it's very
the
interesting.
touch buttons like these work fine.
Yeah.
But what I need to do from what I heard is that I need to do like a proper Linux port, and then the problem should be gone.
Okay. Oh, it's pretty cool that they actually also have feedback like, yo, I think this, so you
No,
fix
I
it.
just
Have you
read
tried
it
this?
somewhere, but
Oh,
yeah, let's see. The problem with the deck is I have so little control over the touch screen. It's always simulated as a mouse, so I can't really handle it. I thought I could do a lot more cool stuff like multi-touch and so on, but it's not really made for that.
yeah.
I just want to shortly say that I got the experience, or what do you call it? Yeah, I got the impression that you were kind of bored by the game for a while, and then after this update, it's like a new spark that you find it fun to try out new stuff and so on. So what
Yeah,
do you
the
say about
thing,
that?
yeah, I will answer honestly. I, with HED and all that, and because the more obscure song is, the more I like it. With DSS2, it came to a few factors. One, um, I tend, if I like a game, I tend to play it non-stop until I probably get a burnout,
Yeah.
especially with open-worlded games. With DSS2, it came. like 70% was like that. Second reason, I got through most of the content, and the things that I did was more like, how can I well, not abuse, but min max or make weirder combinations that obey the laws that you wrote in code, but still kind of break them. Like, oh yeah, if I do this, I can get like infinite gold, and then I crash the game. Uh, if I do this, I never have to worry about people because those people they don't need food or gold. And oh yeah, it's like it's fun because I like testing, so it keeps me entertained because I like breaking things because it helps me backtrace the problem and help people, and I just like to be testing. Um, the content wise, I got through all of it almost. Like I think no joke, the only thing that I still had to do is like finish the campaign on like hard difficulty and like I think do a survival run on like 300% or 350 now. Like that was like the only thing that was for me, the only thing that I could do that could probably be the reason why I stayed
Yeah.
in DSS2 for a way longer. But it felt like at that point I would probably start entering burning out and start having a feeling that I don't want to touch the game instead of yeah maybe I'll go back. Um, so yeah, those were like the main reasons. It wasn't really the bugs that were being the turn off for me. It was more that I got through most of the content, and the bugs you fix them quick enough. So for me, it was okay. I can now do this, and then it's like okay, I did it. What's left for me to do?
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
the now
Yeah,
there's a lot more combinations and a lot more ways to play. So I can like return to game and like try a new tactic or something like you said, like the cesspit experience. It was like I never thought about it because I was just like, okay, I'm gonna build few batches of schools. One batch is 15 schools, one school per job. Um, and just like, yeah, I'm gonna
still a
speedrun
school
like speedrun.
abuser.
Yeah. And I was like, oh yeah, cesspits are a thing. Okay, so there's still like new things for me to discover, like the new also aesthetic wise, you have like the animals, but also like flowers. I don't think I saw them before. So I was like, I think they were in here, but I don't know. But it's like fun.
Oh, it should
So
have
it's like
been. It's an old thing.
yeah, but it's like at one point you like saw the stuff, so you go like mass scale. So like you start like Factorio, and then you go like okay Factorio, you enter space age, and then you're like okay now I'm just gonna optimize my spaghetti. And it's like okay maybe another day. But I was like, yeah, with DSS2, it's fun. And I also introduced a few friends of mine.
Ah, cool.
Yeah,
They
one of
don't
my friends
bounce
bought the game.
immediately.
Hmm?
Is it every time I show my the game for my friends, they're like, "Oh no, 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 too complex."
No, my friend, he likes like strategy games. Like he doesn't play a lot of games. He's book addicted. He reads books. Like he can like
Ah,
really burn through books. Like it's a cool guy. We play like we like to sometimes do like bar or like Supreme Commander or Planetary Annihilation, where basically I and him and maybe another friend or one AI or like medium difficulty against like a team of full hardcore AI, like hardest difficulty. Check if you even win.
were you
Or
playing
like in
split
bar
screen
survive against
or
Steinstar.
how did you play
Hmm?
that?
What?
Was that split screen or how did you play together?
No, it was like
You just took turns.
no, me at home. No, it's real time. So it was basically Supreme Commander is like Planetary Annihilation, or like it's like
Ah, okay. You
Command
play
and
talking
Conquer,
about
but more
another
like
game. I
cracked.
see. I see.
Yeah, and DSS2, it was like he got interested because he saw me played at the LAN party that I had with him. I was like, oh yeah, I've got nothing to do for him. It's okay. I'm just gonna check if I can fix my economy because my people were dying. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this. And that was like before the mount update, like way back. Um, and first, I don't really know about it. He has access to family share and all that, but I don't think the early beta didn't work. So I already said it to you before that I gave him like access to the beta by giving him like the code. He actually bought the game after that from his own money.
Damn.
Yeah,
Well,
because he liked it.
if you
Hmm?
get a regular Joe Smo to play the game, that's impressive. When I see you play, I always get the feeling that you don't really care about the war stuff. You just want to do a factory game of it. And
I think it's like somewhat, but with me, it's like I think every game when I can go big, I go big. Like,
Yeah, you
um,
can. If you look at the leaderboards, who's right here on the top?
uh, yeah, the thing is, I don't even think that that was like one city. Yeah, top city size. I was like, huh? Because if you load one of my saves, the average population is always around 3+ people before I expand. Because at 3 point, in my mind, it's like, okay, now I have a decent like city, even though by probably your average game standards, that would be like a big boss battle city or something. To me, it's like, yeah, it's an average city. Now we can expand. And I'm like, okay, where can I build more? It's like, okay, now I did this. Can I go even more insane? Like, that's the thing that drives me a bit.
Yeah.
And also how I
Hopefully, I
get
don't
that.
lose
Like,
you now when I'm gonna work on multiplayer and the army
yeah.
tactics.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna be like sated for a long time, not just with bug fixes with the game, because to me it's like not even the multiplayer or keeping me engaged with new features. It's like you gave you you added functions or like new ways to play the game. It's like, okay, to give a clear comparison, you have Total War 2 and Total War 3 of what we call Warhammer. In Warhammer 2, you had like, okay, new factions and some DLCs with some factions. In 3, you added like a completely new continent, new mechanics to play. We're not going to talk about Sega and CA being clowns with expansions, but it's the measure of adding new features. The replayability is bigger because you have like not just mods, um, but you can play a new faction and then you can play a different faction and they feel different. Now, for example, I play DSS 2 and it's not always I build schools, I'll speedrun to the pigs and the chickens, and then I just expand, 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 expand ad infinitum. Now it's like, okay, I can do animals. And then I go animals and I suddenly discover that I have a new problem. I don't have food. And it's not normal food, it's raw food because suddenly animals require raw food. So I'm like, I never encountered this before. Now I want to fix it.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about me. I can keep myself amused very long. I think it's like it's interesting that I would say like the average Joe Schmo. It's like okay, my friend is also a bit of a gamer, but he plays like mostly strategy games, also RPG, but single player often. He doesn't really like multiplayer. The only multiplayer game that he played is Warframe because they look cool and they have like cool movesets. So it's like the cool factor in the game. But yeah,
So
I think like for them,
that's the ultimate achievement, letting Daniel never burning out on your game.
yeah, that's why like I keep going to Dwarf Fortress, like going back to it because it's just like it has so little in the name of variety. Basically, I'm not talking with mods because if you're gonna talk mods, then hey ho. But like you have dwarves, you have goblins, you have elves, humans, and a few other races. Then they like so much can go wrong. Like yeah, you find a Necronomicon.
Yeah,
What if
it's
your
an
dwarf turns
accident
into a necromancer?
simulator.
Yeah, it's like the losing is fun factor is like on 11, and I like that. Like I don't feel that I lost if I play that game. Or like in DSS2, I'm losing. I'm not really losing. It's just like a little
Yeah.
bit of a
Otherwise,
crisis. I can fix it.
otherwise you're playing the wrong game, I would say.
Yeah, like I mean, I'm playing Elder Ring for the story. Also the combat, but the story is also fun. Or Dark Souls because it has like it's difficult, it's hard, and you want to defeat something because there's like a mental like there's like a blockade and you want to overcome it, and after it depending on how you play, you can like find new story, new aesthetics, new enemies to kill. Like there are different ways to like skill check you. And in DSS2, for me, that's like now it's the economy, but also like there are completely new mechanics. But probably in my mind, there's already like a few things I want to try. Is that um, the economy in itself is not the main problem anymore. Like water, that will always be my beloved. Then we have like economy, but it's like okay, now I have to deal with like for example raw food. Now I have preserved food, so I have different. Um, let's say economy is like your main enemy. Now you have like different aspects of it. So they became their own bosses, if that makes sense.
That's a
And they're
good
like,
way to
okay, I'm
see
gonna
it.
tackle this boss. Okay, now I can do this.
Yeah.
Can I do it at the same time? No.
All the
Why?
ways you can starve and die.
Yeah, like or like starve the enemy by capturing one of his provinces, building a lot of houses, and then just letting him capture it again.
Yeah, now I also fixed the bugs where you can do the scorch earth tactic of just deleting the whole town. That wasn't possible
Oh,
before, but it works now.
I didn't even know that was possible. I
Yeah,
need to like
it
try it out.
wasn't, but now it is. Yeah, you can just delete a town if you want to.
So then you need a settler
you have
to
to keep the
recolonize
city
it.
center, but otherwise the rest should work.
Yeah, but do you like downgrade it to like a settler city center, or is it like
No,
still
just deletes
okay?
everything, but it protects the tile of the city center and
Okay.
this. It also has a square where
Uh,
they leave everything and pick up everything. The city square. So these two
oh,
tiles are
okay, okay,
protected, but everything else can be deleted.
okay.
And then just tear it
It would be
down until nothing's left.
it would be very funny if someone selected city center and accidentally pressed delete and it deletes his entire province. That would be a fun Easter egg.
Yeah.
Don't implement it, but it would be like a fun 1 April joke. Like,
I
are
mean,
you sure?
if in
Yes.
theory now when you have settlers, you could in theory like burn it to the ruins, but
Yeah, but that would be a lot of skill
it's a lot
checks
of
and
weird
visual work.
cases that can apply, so I'm trying to avoid. But
Yeah.
Scorch Earth, yeah, that's fun.
Now salt has another use.
Yeah, that would be even cooler if you could salt Earth too.
Salt the earth.
Yeah,
Okay. But yeah, um,
that was
it was
just a
very
breaking
fun
point.
talking with you again and like about this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you very much for having this little chat of 3 hours or
Oh no, I love
whatever.
this stuff. 3 hours now. It was 15 minutes. Time goes fast when you have fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I will so this will be like a second video to the short. So then I have the short walkthrough that is easy to share, and then I have this
Yeah.
long
I think I'm gonna do
long talk of two people who can never stick to topics.
Dev Talk. Or like no, Dev Epic, because Epic can exist out
Yeah.
of most stories and things. So that makes sense. Yeah. But yeah,
But some
about
people
the
watch
thing,
this
I think
stuff,
that,
so that's fun. So
yeah,
if you watch to the end, leave a comment, as they say.
yeah. Can you do that on Twitch? I don't even know. Yeah. Don't really care. But about before I like say goodbye, I think I'm gonna do today or tomorrow. I'm gonna make a new recording of a new settler run just to explain new mechanics.
Yeah, we're
Um,
trying to make a tutorial together.
Yeah, and I'll try to keep it like short and not go onto full HD 6 hour long video about stuff.
I noticed when you're going nuts. I remember you were showing stuff here at the same time you were all the time moving the camera like this, and I was like, how do you even do that?
I don't know. To me, it makes sense. That's like I thought that was like normal. So that's like, huh?
But that is just
Like
unwatchable because you're trying to look over here, but everything's moving and
yeah, to me, it's like, oh yeah.
and each time you're
attention,
talking, you
like,
do like this, blah 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 here, blah blah blah. So
yeah. Now, secretly, it's my technique to keep ADHD people attention
occupied, yeah.
on the topic. Yeah. Like, you know how some videos nowadays on YouTube have like this anime girl dancing or something like weird or Subway Surf. Like, it's so fun. Like, I don't
they
get
have
it.
they show people cutting clay and playing mini games and so on the
Yeah, like,
on the half the screen so they can concentrate.
yeah, that's like, okay, I mean, I have an attention span. Like, I can't keep my focus to one thing. You don't need it, but I thought, is it that bad? Nah, but yeah. Yeah, have a nice day. Something.
Yeah, you too. And thank you very much for all the playtesting. That's been very helpful.
I know.
And,
Thank you for giving me the opportunity. I like this stuff.
I was gonna do a lot of playtesting this time, but always the time management is hard. Hopefully, I have one more week of basically just preparing for the update, and I should hopefully be able to playtest during that week and do the final adjustments. There's always some small
Yeah.
stuff I miss. It feels so good. I was really scared I was not gonna make it. Because then...
Nah, you weren't gonna make it.
I really want to do like a... what do you call it? Discount on the Medieval Fest. If I'm ever gonna be noticed during the new Medieval Fest. I don't want to throw it away. Because people only buy if it's discounted. But then I have to wait like 2 months or something before I can discount again. And then do I want to do the update without the discount? So then the update will be closer to summer.
I think you would save it, the discount for the summer, because summer, that's when everyone like goes on vacation and all that. That's like your defaulting.
Yeah.
I don't know which major titles they're gonna release, but even then,
But it sucks to sit on a good update for like 2-3 months. Just waiting. It's better it's out there and people are playing.
Yeah,
that's what I feel.
I'm just gonna do one last check, just because there was like one game. It's called Stone Shard. People thought it was dead. Like the developers were like he updates it, he like releases it, but it's like a bit slow. No, he didn't have a discount against the big patch. So I think my recommendation, from what I sometimes see with bigger games, is like, don't do the discount now, because maybe from one perspective it might see like a desperate attempt to regain popularity.
No, but discounting is the only way to sell games on Steam. That's how it works. That's sadly what I have to do. And the thing is, when I have around 40,000 wish lists, and if I discount 20%, they all get a mail. And if I do the update at the same time, that will like kickstart the algorithm to start going and showing my game again. So that's kind of what I have to do. So because otherwise the game will be kept invisible by Steam.
Yeah, okay. I thought there was like one game. Is it 20%? Because there was, I think, like one game that recently had an entire like thing on game news websites and all that, because Steam didn't notify people it released or had a discount, so they had like a major sales issue.
Oh, yeah, that's probably
yeah.
just a bug in the system.
Yeah, but it was like the developers also didn't know it until much later. So, but yeah, is it 20%? I thought it was like 10.
I need to discount 20% if I want the mail to reach the wish listers. So
okay, that's like
I'm just
a default.
doing it because I have to.
Yeah, okay.
But that is standard. I'm not the worst. I mean, some people set the schedule to discount. If you can do it every 2 months or whatever it is, you just do it exactly each 2 months, and I think that is a bit greedy.
I think that's just how do you call it, like desperation at that point if you do that.
But if I put a lot of work into my update, I still want the algorithm to show the game. Otherwise, it feels kind of pointless to do big updates. So
yeah.
So I'm
kind
of forced by the system to do it like this.
Then I think you should make the promotional page or like the update thingy like flashy, like make not just attention grabbing, like like thumbnails on YouTube or whatever, but have like, okay, new pets, new this, like make it feel like you. I know that you put a lot of work in it, but like try to convey the emphasis on there's a lot of new stuff, a lot of new possibilities, like
I'm
that.
trying.
Not just I have animals. You can put a soldier on it. They fight. As a result, you win.
I will also accompany it with some pretty images, and I also have these videos now, so that will be... The videos will also be in the updates.
Yeah.
And I should do the update like 1 week before it releases, because Steam are trying to push the the update previews, so I'm using that to get a bit more visibility.
Yeah, to get ahead.
Yeah. So
You
I'm
better
trying to
prepare. Yeah, yeah.
use. I'm a very very small game that Steam hides whenever they can. So.
A small game made by one person. Now I know a
Yeah.
few other games that were made by one person.
So I have to use every trick in the book to be visible on
Yeah,
Steam.
I think
You cannot compare me to. I mean, Factorio never had a discount, but on the other hand,
they
they're
had one.
huge. You cannot compare.
Yeah, but they're also made by a team, not one guy, and they know that they're selling digital cocaine or crack.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't compare it. But maybe like Dwarf Fortress and then Early Age, like it's something that it's niche and it has a fan base. And at that point, yeah, you already developed the game for 10 years, and the guys there also had financial like problems. But then they were like, okay, we're gonna put on Steam, and they were like all the old guard, like the graybeards, the guys that were there with. What do you call it in Narnia with the lion, the witch, and the wardrobe, whatever. We're like, it's now here, young man. Look, they even made it playable for you, child. You can use your mouse. It's like, whoa! And then they bought it all again because hey, it was mouse support. So I think what I'm trying to say is like, at one point, after you have like the reputation, you can like sort of be a bit more, I think, assured or comfortable, because if you keep putting your love and effort into the game, which you clearly do, you will see that the fan base grows to a point where it can be self-sustaining, and
Yeah, hopefully. But
you won't
I've
need
noticed that the game isn't shown by Steam right now.
if you go to like the page of
So I'm selling just slightly too few games to for Steam to care about it. So I will fall because during updates and so on, the game I can browse the game. It's very
yeah.
Let's see. Nope. It's very clear if I write like DSS like this. Some days they're here and some days they're gone. So
Yeah.
I'm just on the limit for whether they're hiding it if I'm not doing anything for a while. Anyway.
Yeah. Have a nice
long
day.
goodbye.
That was a long tangent. Yeah. Before we go on that tangent. Yeah. Thanks again. Yeah. Have a nice day and nice weekend.
See you on the forum. Take care. See you.
Yo, just.